Well, we're over here at the workbench, and you know what? It's time. Rigs and techniques. What are we going to talk about tonight?
Well, we're talking about catching reds and trout up on the flats, and you know, it's the springtime, and usually that's when the water starts warming up and the fish start moving in. Luckily this year the water got warm real fast, and it's kind of hot right now for the time of year. It's 75 degrees, 76 degrees, which, you know, is like late April temperatures. But that just triggers everything to start biting. So that's why they're catching so many big trout and redfish right now, because everything got warm real quick and things are moving and eating. You know, we got these big spring tides, and when they have those spring tides, everything moves up all the way up into the real shallow water, up into the, you know, the brackish lakes and stuff. They go way back up in there because they got enough water now. And that's where we're targeting a lot of these fish. And you can do it a lot of different ways. You know, we can search for them, you know, with the fish that are humping bait, or, you know, trying to get up, you know, up on, you see their hump sticking out of the water.
Would that be a time when you'd want to throw a spoon, Dave?
Well,
possibly?
you know, I was going to talk about the spoon, but usually when I'm throwing the spoon is when I'm trying to locate fish. Just the other day I was fishing in a spot and I heard there were some trout around, but I didn't know exactly where they were. So I started trolling a spoon. I was just trolling down this edge thinking, well, look around. And sure enough, I got a little trout bite. And once I got that trout bite, I turned back around, got another little trout bite on the spoon in the same spot. And I said, okay, this is the spot. And I anchored up and I started throwing bait out and other things. But the spoon is an excellent search bait.
I want to show you a cool trick. You know, spoons all come with this weed guard like this.
Correct.
And unfortunately, when you pull it out, a redfish goes over and he hits that, and it hits him in the top of the throat. So what we do is we take the weed guard and we bend it out like this, okay? Now, by doing that, Dave, when it hits a piece of wood or a mangrove, it pushes the hook away, but more importantly, when he bites down, now that's below the eye of the hook. So you have to customize your weed guard, guys.
That's a good idea.
That really works.
Well, you also customize, you know, I always put a swivel and a little split ring on the front as well, especially if I'm going to be trolling the spoon or, you know, cranking it a lot, because it will twist up the line. And if you have to use a good, I got some nice swivels out here and some nice split rings, but the swivels they got nowadays, these little Spro swivels, are amazingly strong. You don't have to worry about them twisting and breaking. And not only that, unlike a ball bearing swivel, they actually twist under load. Right. A ball bearing swivel will not twist under load. So you can
use these, or you could use the diamond. The diamond makes some really cool little swivels, high grade swivels. Correct.
Well, what Bink's been catching a lot of fish on lately has been either a live shrimp under a popping cork, or a little john, or you know, a little soft plastic under a popping cork, usually between 1 foot or 2 feet, sometimes 3 feet deep, depending on how deep the fish are. The redfish will usually be a lot deeper in the guts and stuff now when the tide's falling off and all the stuff's falling into the troughs and whatnot. You know, you fish with these things with a 1/4 ounce with 8 ounce jig head. You know, the 8 ounce, you know, if you're in fairly shallow water and you don't have to worry about it getting to the bottom real quick, and you use a little heavier one if you're in deeper water and all the fish are on the bottom. Chicken on a chain, drunk monkey, the gold flake. This gold flake color in the little john looks exactly like a shrimp.
Penny.
Yeah, it looks exactly like a little shrimp in the water. You use your
If the water's clear, do you like to throw something like the northern minnow, Dave?
Yeah, I do.
Something that matches.
I do. I like to, you know, if I'm fishing in really dirty dark water, I'll throw the bright colors and the chartreuses and even white and stuff like that. And then in crystal clear water, I'll throw darker stuff. Darker stuff works really good in
And when do you like to throw the hard lures?
All the time, especially if I'm having to make long casts. I like to use the little straight running jigs. What you have to worry about when you're using these baits is how to work them, because if the bait is just moving, traveling, and not really darting erratically, you don't want to move your bait like that. If you're seeing a ton of little mullet that are just streaming by in a straight line, just go ahead and crank it at the same speed without jerking it all around. If the other stuff's jerking around, then you just jerk it to try to match it.
Good job. That's the way to come out of the box.